But
we barely touched on the interception there, and I think that filters into your point very well. Make Patrick Mahomes beat you.
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes uh, on things that went wrong. Patrick Mahomes over the last 3 weeks of the season,
turnovers.
turnover machine, hasn't made great decisions, has not been the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs have won in the
No,
last 3 games. We can go back over the last 9 games. We're 9 in a row over the last 9 that have all been decided by one score or less. And
it's been
Patrick
him
Mahomes has not been the reason that we've won the game in comparison to what he has done in the
previously. Yeah,
past.
Well,
previously he's been him. He's
if
been
you
the
take
guy.
a
It's like,
deep
okay,
dive into Facebook comments on anything
That's
Chiefs
just a
related,
bad that's just a bad place to be because it's
but so many
anything
hey,
related.
football fans out there just think, hey, Patrick Mahomes is mid, bro. He's had elite talent surrounding
who
him
the
and a
fuck
coach like
says
Andy
that?
Reed.
A
Dude,
lot of
it's
dummies.
everywhere.
It's
Really?
not just Facebook, it's
They
also
swear to
Twitter.
God, Patrick
Wow.
Mahomes is a system fucking
I
quarterback.
mean, like he's good. He's like he's good to the point where like yeah, he's probably he is the best. He's the best quarterback in the league right now. He's the
Nobody,
winningest quarterback in the league by
everybody hates it,
far.
so they don't want to say it.
I think well that's how they treated Tom Brady. So congratulations, you're now the Patriots. Like get the fuck over it. Like it had to go to someone else. It's
Okay,
you
so
guys.
Tom Brady was very divisive, and it was either you hated him or you called him the goat, and like,
Okay, well Patrick Mahomes isn't divisive, but his wife is divisive
and the
enough
only
so
people
like get
calling
over
Patrick
like
Mahomes the goat is fucking Chiefs fans.
I mean, not yet. He's not the GOAT yet. He's the best football player in the NFL right now. I think the biggest problem that a lot of people have is how far down their throats the broadcasters have his wiener. I think that's why
It's
people
Chris
don't like.
Collinsworth. It's Chris
No,
Collinsworth.
It's
exactly.
just
No,
Chris Collinsworth.
like
It's
I think
he's the
that's I
only
think
one.
that's why people hate
It's
him. I
because
think
we're
that's
it's because
Oh my
we're
God,
well,
Pat
Tom
Mahomes took
like
a step. Oh
Tony
shit, look at him
Romo.
tying his shoe on the
Tony
sideline.
Romo does it
Oh
too.
my
Tony
God,
Romo
here's a
does it.
guy who knows how to fuck my wife.
That was wild. But no, Tony Romo does that shit too. But like oh my God. I think that's why people like are like, no, he's not that good. He's not that good.
well, he's
Genuinely.
been clearly playing not up to his standard, and he said it. I think the last 2 weeks in a row, week 2 and week 3, in post game press conferences, where he's acknowledged that he has to get better. And it clearly shows. He's going out there making turnovers that he hasn't made in the past. And I mean, not just like last week against the Bengals in week 2, there was the one
That was
spectacular
wild.
interception. But for now, 2 weeks in a row, he's just thrown it directly into the hands of the defender who's nearby. They haven't been good passes, they haven't been acrobatic catches. He's not been out there. Also, he hasn't been out there making the plays that like we've also seen him make in the
Hmm.
past to
Hmm.
extend drives. We're going 3 and out in areas that we can't go 3 and out in. We need
Yeah.
to end the game right here. We need the first down. And Patrick Mahomes also isn't going out and getting those. He is not playing to the level that he has in the past. And we're still coming away winners, but clean up those things and now have no worries.
Yeah.
What's it
I
going to take for
really
Pat to
oh
clean those things up?
Do you
I
think it's
go
like
ahead,
a
Tybo.
sorry, Tommy, I keep cutting you
No,
off.
please go, Tybo. Please go.
I
Please go.
well, like, do you think it's some sort of natural regression? Do you think teams defenses are just like coming up with newer tactics to try and like combat Patrick Mahomes? Or are these fixable things that Pat might need to just refocus on and tighten some shit up?
So I'll try and answer that as quickly as possible here. But so I think the too high look is probably fucking him up a little bit too. I think it is. Like it's obviously gotten everybody. But what I think it really is he's just not been as consistent with those Patrick Mahomes plays. Like his those plays where he creates chicken salad out of chicken shit. Like those aren't happening as close together as they usually have been. You know what I'm saying? Like last year, he did that shit seemingly every third down. And now it seems like
So
he's doing it only a few third downs
so
or a
what
few
you're
big
saying
moments of the
is
game, as
we
opposed to
need
like every
to
time.
we need to trade away some of our offensive linemen, get worse offensive linemen so that he's under pressure more and having to make those plays more
I,
often.
that sounds awful, but maybe I don't
I'm,
know.
I would say that there's this because it doesn't mean trade away these offensive linemen, but I think I understand where Tommy is
It was
going.
a fucking facetious joke, you
Yeah,
asshole.
no,
No,
no.
I
no,
was
I
not
understand.
suggesting we trade away Joe Tooney.
I know what I think is what I see a lot is we look at the past couple years and Patrick Mahomes is forced to roll out of the pocket, which means that he's going to go either pick up the first down with his legs or he's creating enough time for the receivers to kind of just mosey their way open. What's and that's kind of where we've also seen Travis Kelsey get a lot of his numbers is Patrick Mahomes is willing to sit around and wait, move around the pocket. With the way that we have the pocket right now, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to roll out. He doesn't
Yep.
have to create that. What happens when Pat rolls out is he's creating defenders that have to move down towards him and off of those receivers because he's able to sit in the pocket. The DBs and the linebackers don't have to move into different positions to cover for him, and so that allows them to stay on top of the receivers.
Ah, that's a
Maybe
great
Pat
point.
needs to
Yes.
start rolling out a little bit more because
Hmm.
that was one of the things that was so great about his game, extending the plays when he has to, creating room and opportunities for the receivers. I think we just need to start rolling out more, maybe force some bootlegs, start creating that separation, give different looks out there, and that will force those guys down deeper in the field to kind of mosey and get more open.
The old moving pocket.
The old moving
Well, yeah,
pocket.
but like
Maybe
when you
maybe
move
get him on
those
a
DB's
couple.
eyes, when you
Maybe
move
get
the
him on a
DB's
couple
eyes,
naked bootlegs.
I
yes, a
like a
few
good
maybe
naked
not even a
bootleg.
naked bootleg. Like he just has to scramble because like what Ty Bob said, like when he rolls out, the DB's eyes go to him, and they're no longer on Travis Kelsey. They're no longer on Rasheed Rice. They're on him because he's fucking dangerous, and he's like Ty Bob said, they're not worried
You're
about him.
so
They're not worried about him running around.
dangerous.
That's huge.
Pat Mahomes is so dangerous. All right.
But yeah, that was probably the only thing that really went wrong was the interceptions.
There
Like he
was
just can't keep
nothing
doing that. If you catch a team that's rolling, like you're gonna lose.
realistically, that was almost a perfect game from the Kansas City Chiefs, as best as it could be in a tight
Yeah.
competition.
Uh-huh.
Clean up some things from Patrick Mahomes' end, and how many times have we had to say that over the
Which end?
last few years? Patrick Mahomes' end.
Whoa.
I think Spags too. I think like Spags is your X factor, honestly,
Big X.
defensively.
I do want to ask this question before we get into
In Spags we
players of the
trust.
game. Um, Travis Kelsey, where do we see him ending up this season? Given the slow start to the season, he got much more involved in week 3. I would ask over under 720 yards by season's end. Where do you put him?
See if you
We're scared to
720.
say it. I'm scared to say it as a Chiefs fan.
Well, I don't
Where do
bet
you
the
where do
under,
you
so I'm not gonna say shit. No, I mean, yeah, if that was a bet, I probably just wouldn't take it, but I don't see him. I don't see him. If you had set the line at like 600, I probably would have said over. I'll put it
I
that
mean,
way. That's how I answer
700
that
I
without
think I
answering
think
it
that's fair.
as
That's
under.
on pace 720. That's got to be on par with what we've seen over the last couple of years given the slow start to the season through 3 weeks so far. Would you take the over or take the under on 720 yards uh, by the end of week 17?
I mean, just looking at the film that we have to go off of for these first 3 weeks, like I would have to say no. I would have to say under. I don't think he's involved is not the right word because he's making an impact out there. Like he's the
Him, the fact that
reason.
he's out there, the fact that he's out
Right.
there means he's impacting the game.
Right. And it's allowing us to dink and dunk to other players, right? It's not the end all be all is Pat Mahomes to Travis Kelsey having to find the soft spot in the zone and Mahomes rolling out and letting, Travis kind of crossing to wherever Mahomes is going. Like this is not the Kansas City Chiefs offense that we're used to, but I like it more. I love seeing Travis Kelsey go off. I love seeing Travis Kelsey have like walk-off touchdowns against the Chargers and that type of shit. But I like this offense better because we're not just relying on that one thing. These weapons allow us to put the ball wherever we fucking want to. And Pat just has to be a little more careful. But
Well,
I
I
don't
wouldn't go
see
that far.
720, 750 yards. I feel like it's still
Bro, he's
lopsided.
only averaging fucking 8.5, 8.6 yards a catch right now
I
through three
also wouldn't
games.
go so far as to say we're out there using other weapons. Rasheed Rice had 12 receptions. The next closest was Travis Kelsey with four. The next closest was Juju and Xavier with two. So we've just moved from always utilizing Travis Kelsey to
But the
Rasheed
way
Rice.
we're okay, so the way we're getting Rasheed the ball is different than Pat forcing it to Travis.
Agreed.
And the running game had over 4 yards of carry last night. Or yeah,
Yeah, no, you don't need. I think I do. I think I said this before week one or like after week one. You guys don't need him to win. You really don't. Dude, he's averaging 23 yards a game.
and
You know how much
that's
that
why
is?
I
You know
think.
how much that is in 17 games? Anybody? Just
What
guess.
was
I'm not
that like
doing the fucking math.
540?
391 yards. That's how many that is.
I'll
And
say
so,
this.
like I'm saying, because of the way he's being utilized,
But you,
I would say
like,
under. I would
I
definitely say
mean, probably over that 391, but still, that's fucking nuts. Like
that's why
Travis
I said
Kelsey could only
720.
get like 500 yards this year, and you guys would probably be the number one seed. Think how
I'll,
fucking nuts that is.
I'll say
I
this.
think that if we underutilize him in the regular season, it's going to be a big.
Season's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. He's going to be a problem for teams in the postseason.
See, I just don't think like the mentality is already that like Travis Kelsey can fucking burn you, and I just think like teams are still just like we're not going to let Travis Kelsey burn us. But I think it goes
That's
back to like the scrambling thing that we talked about earlier too.
I think that's both things. And I like that second point that you just brought up is that other teams are saying Travis Kelsey will not burn us. Travis
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey isn't going to burn you. You know who is? Rasheed Rice. And he's going to
Well, then
continue.
that's
And
the
that's
that's
and
the
that's like, are you going to die on that hill? No, because at some point the defenses are going to go, you know what? We also have to cover Rasheed. And when you take two to Rasheed and you take two to Travis, then somebody else is going to open up until you
Worthy
single cover
fly route.
one of them. Exactly. So then what are you going to do? You're going to cover Travis Kelsey. One of these defenses is going to get a wild hair and go, okay, we're going to double cover Rasheed Rice in this
hmm
game. And Travis Kelsey is going to go off for 120 yards and four touchdowns.
Yeah, they'll stick
And
some
he's going
poor
to have
linebacker on
a
him.
hell of a game.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going off and saying I think Travis Kelsey gets to or over that 720 mark because there's going to be more than one defense out there who does it. And Travis Kelsey is definitely going to go off for his heydays. And eventually, teams are going to go, okay, we need to respect every single weapon that's on this field. And now we're going to come up with some sort of blanket coverage. And then somebody's just always going to be open. And Patrick Mahomes is going to be hitting them left and right because he's rolling outside on naked booties and somebody's just going to be moseying around and be open. It's going to figure its way out. Teams, we just have to realize that okay, for now, we need to shape things a little bit differently until teams start to cover us a little bit differently and start to respect everything.
And as a Chiefs as a Travis Kelsey fan, I want that to be true. I want him to, blow that number away.
I don't
But
see it.
as a Chiefs fan, the way the offense is looking, minus Patrick Mahomes throwing interceptions, I I feel like we are more comfortable. We are more free. We can do more things than just pinpoint Travis Kelsey.
I think that's a pretty unrealistic standard you have there, Ty Bob. I just don't think I don't see that happening. Like I don't. Not that you guys aren't going to win, but I do think if Patrick Mahomes doesn't clear up the fucking interceptions, you're going to run into a team that's rolling and you're going to fucking lose. Hopefully it's not in the playoffs, but I just think like people aren't going to forget about Travis Kelsey, dude. I just don't think, and people are going to like.
And I
There's
think
not much you can do. There's really not. Like you have a
instead
really
of
complete
doubling up
football team,
Rasheed Rice,
but it,
they're just going to focus more on open field tackling and a specific way to cover him.
yeah.
I don't think Rasheed Rice is the type of receiver that calls for two people guarding him. But
No,
I guess I
no,
could
but
be wrong. But
I do think though the real probably key, the only real way that you could like I just think scheme wise, like there's not much you can do. You just have to rely on like a sick ass defensive line getting to the quarterback every fucking time. But even then, it's still Patrick Mahomes, so you gotta have to have a discipline as fuck defensive backfield too and linebackers. I've almost always thought
Whole
like, why don't
defense
you
got
just
to be
put a
really
spy
good.
on Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, that you can't. No, you can't do that.
Can't do that.
Like this year you can't, but like in previous years, like you probably could have put a spy on, especially in the playoffs. Like you just put the spy on Patrick Mahomes.
Pat's gonna figure out a way to
I
burn
was gonna
him.
say if you put a spy on Pat Mahomes, like someone's gonna be open. Someone is not
I mean,
accounted for.
probably, but if I say I'm not gonna let Patrick Mahomes like beat me on his feet or beat me scrambling, like
I can't believe a Raiders fan
The
just
only
said, "I
game where
hope the
that was
Chiefs
really a
don't lose in
problem
the
was fucking
playoffs."
Tennessee in that fucking playoff game.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah.
well, no, because if you guys lose in the playoffs this year, the city might burn down, honestly. Because you guys are so high right now. You guys are so up
I would
here
personally
that
be
if it
okay with it.
fucking
I
dips
would like to
to
take a little bit of the heat off Kansas City. I don't like
if
being the
it
team that everybody fucking
dips,
hates.
if
Only
it
only after a
dips,
three-peat. Only after a three-peat.
no, no, if that dips too far down, cities riots, fucking riots, and I don't want that.
Listen, we're
So,
not we're
so
not New
fucking
Orleans where the
lose now, preferably to the Chargers
we're
next
not
week.
New Orleans where
Well,
the murder rate drops to zero for multiple weeks as soon as our favorite team starts winning. Kansas City's built different.
I don't know. We'll have to see
Let's
that to believe it.
quickly hear who were our players of the game and any plays or highlights that you guys want to call out that we haven't mentioned so far.
Bo,
And
Well, am I
plays,
allowed to say Leo
plays.
Chanel now that we've
I
already
mean,
said
I
his
was
name
going to take
earlier in the
Leo,
show?
but you can take Leo. You can take Leo. I meant like plays that we haven't talked about. Yeah, go ahead.
plays of the game. Um, yeah, I mean, like those two. I mean, I kind of already talked about it, but like those two fourth downs, man. Like you got to get points in you have to take a field goal at one of those situations. Like you, I just don't agree with that. I don't agree with that coaching philosophy, and it's burnt a lot of coaches lately.
Well, most impactful player on offense was Rashee Rice. Most impactful player on defense was Nick Bolton.
Yeah.
Hey, they didn't put him on Kyle Pitts this week, and he still burned us.
Yeah, I think he was my player to watch last week, I think too. I think he
Maybe.
might have been. I think I said Kyle Pitts. Watch out for Kyle
Oh
Pitts.
yeah, yeah, you did, you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
would
I
say
think I'm two for two in that category, actually.
for me, I'm not going to go with a player of the game, but I am going to go with a play of the game. Obviously, outside of that fourth down stop, it was probably my favorite play. Obviously, outside that stop there, Felix and Uzama and his forced fumble from uh Kirk Cousins there
He came scot free though.
He
came
did.
scot free, but he did his job, and he didn't just do his job. He went for a what would have been a perfect sack because he didn't land on top of him. He didn't for a guy that hasn't been. He's only been in the league for a year. He hasn't had a ton of snaps. He went in on that play with a veteran's mentality. He actually got off the ball for the first time that I've ever seen in my life with that guy. He got off the ball. He turned the edge while keeping tight to the offensive line's butt, scraped across, took a mid-level shot, and then also had his head on the backside for the elbow when it came down, knocked the ball out of Kirk Cousins' hand, sent it skyrocketing over to the side for us to pick up and set the momentum for the rest of the game. I thought that was easily one of the best plays of the game from a guy who doesn't get a lot of snaps. Kudos to you, Felix.
I was kind of amazed he let the down lineman off free.
I think he was
The
supposed to
left
be a read
tackle,
man.
the left tackle,
I
I
forget what the
can't believe.
commentators were saying about it when it happened, but they highlighted that
I
like
thought it was a
nobody
pass
touched
set.
this man.
If that was just a pure pass set, like I can't believe he let the down lineman free.
I
Like
don't think it
as
was
a
a.
former lineman, that's insane.
It definitely
Unless he was told
wasn't.
something different.
It wasn't. I don't think that was the pass pro. I think that was the thing to do because the pass was supposed to go over to the right side, almost like a screen or a pick play. And so you can leave that guy open if you can get the ball out fast enough.
Yeah.
Felix was just so fast off the line for the first time in his entire life that it caught everybody off guard.
Well, who is it? Didn't Bijan kick it out of bounds?
Yeah, then no, it was it was Bijan. Yeah,
That was a
Bijan
genius
kicked
play.
it. Smart
That was
play.
genius.
Smart play. Don't like it. Should have been thrown out of the game.
Oh,
But
I don't know about that. Come on. Come on. Thrown out of the game for
it's a
kicking the
joke. It's a
bro.
joke.
Oh, okay,
Calm
okay,
down.
okay. That is a great business decision though. I respect his business decision because it's either like kick it out of bounds
Or
or watch some
turn it
fucker
over.
pick it up and walk into the end zone. Like brilliant.
Oh,
Brilliant.
I also want to highlight just real quick. Play really didn't have any bearing on the game or whatever. Kirk Cousins botched snap or bobbled snap that went over into Bijan's hands.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
That was pretty cool.
So technically, statistically, because he bobbled it, right? And then
It
Bijan
turned
just
out to be
picked
a
it up.
pass, I think, is what the commentators are saying.
Yeah, so
It got
that's did it hit the
recorded as a
ground at
pass.
all or no? Was it
No, it
just
didn't
a
hit the ground.
it
No.
didn't hit the ground? I
No,
didn't
he
see
flipped
it.
it
I
up.
didn't see the replay of it either. So yeah, I guess you could say
Hell of some
that was a
hand-eye
pass.
coordination by
Yeah.
Bijan,
I tell you
dude.
what, if I'm statting that game in the moment, I'm just calling it a fucking run and then moving on and then we look at it later. Oh shit.
Oh boy. We have the Chargers coming up next. It is a division rivalry game. Is this one at home? Do we get to come back home?
Yes.
Quickly checking here. No, we
No,
do
no, it's
not.
in
That is
SoFi.
a
No, it
that
is.
is
It
a
is in
fine. It
SoFi.
is in SoFi.
It's SoFi.
Ah, Tommy. Jesus
Tommy,
Christ, guy.
come on, man. It's gonna have like $100 in fines.
I wear it on my
Uh,
sleeve.
He's also
Kansas
doing
City,
really good in pick'em though. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, the Kansas City Chiefs leave Atlanta, come home for a couple of days. We will then go to SoFi, take on the Chargers in a division matchup for week 4 of the NFL season. Make sure to catch us back next week as we preview that game and all the happenings from practice this week. Until next time, go Chiefs.
go Chiefs.
Brr.